Hey guys, hope everybody had a nice Easter weekend. I know we did. We are busy. I'm exhausted. I get started feeding here first thing in the morning on Monday, and it's already 10:40, and I haven't fed a single snake yet. So we're getting a late start to the day. So nothing too crazy happened over the weekend. I had one of my ultramale females finally shed that I was expecting her to have her pre-lay shed. Finally had it. So we are going to be getting another clutch of ultramales coming. We are feeding here. So let me see if my boa here will give us a strike. And I don't know if a lot of you know, but the reason I named the company Blind Strike in the beginning was because of what you just saw there, which was most snakes strike so fast that it is a blind strike, and it's you can't see it coming. Um, so that's where the name of the company originally came from. And I know I've told that story a couple times on podcast interviews. But yeah, so that's where my first company name came from. It was just too much of a mouthful for me in terms of what I was trying to say it out loud or write it down on things. So we had this ultramale female shed. I thought I took the shed out. Apparently I didn't. She was bred to an OD leopard, firefly, yellow belly, possibly inchy, ultramale het pied male. So everything's ultramale, which is what I need more of. That male produced a bunch of pied het ultramales last year. Actually, I can actually count them for you. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7, 8. I have a male that I kept back too. So I kept 8 snakes from him last year. Oh, plus 2. So I kept 8 that were pied het ultramel. 2 of these are double hets. So I think I had 6 pied het ultramels that have a bunch of genes. And then I have 2 females that are ultramel het pied that tested positive for het pied. So I think I have 8 visual recessives from him that are female that I kept from last year in the Ultra Pied project. But I only had 2 that were visual ultramels. So what we'll do here with this clutch, with this big female, is we will make visual ultramels. They'll all be visuals. She's a plain ultramel, so no crazy combos, but he has potentially 5 or 6 genes in him. So I would hope that most of the snakes out of this clutch are going to have 3 genes at the very least, on average, considering that he has 6. Half of those genes should get passed along in every single baby. They will all be ultramel, and 50% of them should be het pied, which obviously is an easy test to test for. So this is a clutch I'm very, very excited about. And he was also bred to this female, and her clutch is due to hatch in basically a month at this point. And she's a black pastel bamboo het ultramel, so not everything's going to be a visual ultramel in this clutch, but half of them should be. Now she has 2 genes, and he has 5 or 6 or 7, and so there's potential to get like 8 gene snakes out of this clutch that are visual ultramels and pos het pieds. So my fingers, there was only 6 eggs, which kind of stinks considering she was huge. But that's a clutch for me that could be enormous, especially because I want to make more visual ultramels. These 2 snakes in this pairing do not share any of the same genes, so I'm not going to hit supers, which is what I wanted. I will be hitting a lot of different looking snakes in this pairing. So hopefully that turns out well. We got 1 month for that clutch to come to hatch. It should be hatching on, let's see. I'll take you over to the incubator here. I'll tell you. What do we got here? So 3/7 is when they were laid. I think the calculation is they should be hatching around the 2nd through the 5th of May. So it's April 1st today. We are hoping that within a month those are coming out. Now this boy here, this is the male that has been doing all the work for me all season. There's another confirmed lock. So this is my OD Blade Pied Double Het Clown MJ male. This is an OD Blade Clown female. And so obviously what I'm looking for here are Super OD, Super Blade clowns that are obviously going to be Het Pied and Pos Het MJ. At the very worst, everything in this clutch is double Het Clown Pied. And, you know, with both parents being OD and Blade, there's a good shot that OD or Blade or both are going to be in most of the babies and obviously potential supers. So, obviously what I'm looking for is a Super OD Blade Clown Het Pied, and hopefully at some point I can test for MJ. But Super OD Clown Het Pied, even by itself, Super OD Super Blade Clown Het Pied is going to be an awesome snake, a very powerful snake. There are no genes in there that reduce pattern in pied. So the combination of those snakes and babies and future down the road potential for clown pied breedings is huge. But if I also hit MJs, het MJs in there too, that's obviously not a bad thing. With this male, because he's, and I've talked about it a couple times if you've been watching my videos the last weeks or so, because I've had some males that just have kind of refused to pair up this year so far, and having a few males that will lock to anything, I've kind of had to swerve my plans a little bit, but I don't think it really dilutes the amount of power that I'm getting out of these snakes. That male right there, I bred him to both of my lightning pied females with the hopes that I get a bunch of double visuals, double visual lightning pieds that are going to test positive for het clown. And what that's going to do is basically in 2 years, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have like 6 snakes from this year that are clown het pied Pos Het MJ or lightning pied Pos Het clown, or I have one that is pied 66 MJ 50 het clown. So I have about 6 snakes in a lightning clown pied project, plus the parents, which are both pied double het MJ clown. But what I was trying to do with him is, you know, sometimes you just need to make building blocks, and I don't think there's really anybody out there that has a bunch of lightning clown pieds hanging around in their racks. So my goal this year, specifically with him, because he's breeding so well, is to really like make a giant foundation for that project, especially because both of my lightning pied females are ready to go. So here, let me show these girls while we're talking here. You know, this is a giant lightning pied female. She's 2,500 grams. He will make half the babies in this clutch will be lightning pieds, and obviously we can test for clown. So I don't even care if OD and Blade are in there, because my goal is just to make lightning pieds that were het clown. The more double visual snakes I can have that are het clown, the easier it's going to be to make a lightning clown pied. Because if I am breeding 2 snakes together that are lightning pied het clown, all of the babies are lightning pied, and a good portion of those should be also clown. That hits my odds a lot easier than if I was breeding triple hets to triple hets. And so that's why I doubled up on that, and I said, you know what? I have 2 females. They're both ready to go. So let's just breed him to both of them. And it's just way too powerful to not breed him to both of these girls, hoping that I get good clutches out of both of them, hoping that I get quite a few lightning pieds out of them. And considering that he's only het clown, only possibly half of those snakes are going to be het clown anyways. So, you know, I only have a 50% shot of them being lightning pieds, and I only have a 50% shot of them being het clown. And then you also only have a 50% shot of them being either males or females. Obviously, with those, I only have 1 female that's a double visual in this project, and I haven't tested her for clown yet. This is the girl that my daughter named Maddie. So So she's a double visual. You know, she's a baby. She'll, you know, maybe very late this year or early or by summer next year, she'll be ready to go. But so I only have one double visual in that Lightning Clown Pied project. Hopefully with these two clutches, that, you know, makes my odds a little better, so that in a year and a half, 2 years, I have really, really good odds of hitting a Lightning Clown Pied. Because as anybody knows that's produced a triple visual, it's not easy. The odds of it are not very good, especially when you're breeding triple hets. So if you can get double hets or double visual single hets, I mean, your odds are, you should be hitting a triple het in that clutch. The odds of you not hitting it are lower than you hitting it, basically. Not hitting one at all, even just one. So, you know, it's, you really need, a lot of these pairings are reducing your ability for failure with them. So, you know, triple het to triple het could be a pairing that you may never hit a baby, a triple visual baby in it. But a double visual single het to a double visual single het, odds are that you're probably going to hit at least one in every clutch, as long as the clutches aren't, you know, 2 eggs. So, you know, it's getting the best odds you can out of these clutches are what I'm usually looking for. And that's what I'm trying to do with his male. And since he is working so well, that's why I said I'm just breeding him to basically everything I can. I took him to both of those OD blade females because they're both big, they're both ready to go. He's ready to go. There aren't really other snakes in here that are like super ready to go and pairing and locking up nonstop. So if I can make some super OD, super blade clowns in those clutches, they'll all be het pied. Half of them will be het MJ. That again helps me get those clutches, get some better odds. And not only that, if I hit super OD, super blade clown het pies, even if they're not MJ, that's a pretty cool clown pied project. If I can breed some super OD, super blade clown het pies to something and make super OD, super blade clown pies and maybe throw in some other genes from a different snake, those are pretty cool snakes that nobody's making. So, you know, sometimes it's just about building a nice foundation, and if you can work in some cool genes with it, it's even better.